What's going on, YouTube? This is Carl Watson from Team Rogue. I'm here bringing you guys my Tenyi Deck profile. I am going to be showing you my take on the Tenyi Deck and why I feel like it's a amazing choice for this format. Let's jump right into it, guys. First off, we're going to start out with 3 copies of Tenyi Spirit Ashina. Ashina is the guy that special summons himself like all Tenyi monsters, as well as you can banish it from your graveyard and special summon another Tenyi monster from the deck. He does lock you into Tenyi monsters, but as you see how we plan our extra deck, it doesn't really affect us that bad. It allows us to continue on in our plays and still make a very strong board. He's great new support from the last set for Tenyis. Alright, next up we run 3 copies of Tenyi Spirit Vashuda. He's one of the strongest Tenyi monsters as he allows you to bounce a card on your opponent's side of the field. Spirit Vashuda basically allows you to also out a lot of boards. If they have negates, this baits out those negates for you. And he's also another special summoner, so he allows you to go ahead on and link up. Next up, we run 3 copies of Spirit Synthana. The reason we run 3 of Synthana is because when you put them in grave, it makes you feel very safe. Spirit Synthana lets all of your non-effect monsters come back when they get destroyed by either battle or card effect. So what you do is you have them there in the grave, and once one of your non-effect monsters die, you bring it back and pop a card on the field. He also can be used in conjunction with one of our other monsters to synchro into the Tenyi level 8 synchro monster. So we like to play him at 3 because we want to see him, and get him in the grave as quickly as possible. Next up, we're running 3 copies of Tenyi Spirit Adhara. Tenyi Spirit Adhara is your recursion for the deck. He allows you to bring him out, link him off, and then once he's linked off, you can literally banish him to bring back one of your other Tenyi monsters that you've already played. He's also a tuner. So when you have a level 7 guy on the board and you want to go into the synchro, you can use him to link the synchro off and go into that. Typically speaking, we're going to be using him as link fodder. So next up, we run 3 copies of Tenyi Spirit Nathata. This one allows you to lower your opponent's attack by 1500. It's good because when you use the Tenyi Spirit Nathata, basically you can do it in damage step, and they'll attack, you lower that attack, and it allows your guys to survive. And so with conjunction with the blue guy, if they kill it by a battle or by a card effect, essentially it's going to come back and pop a card on their side of the field, and then if they try to get bigger than you and run it over, you have this guy to lower that attack so that they can't get bigger than you. And it really makes for a really hard board to break, once you have all of this set up in grave. This guy also specials out, and he can also be used as another level 4 to go into the synchro. Next up, we run 2 copies of Mapura, Tenyi Spirit Mapura. Out of all of the Tenyi monsters, I found him to be the least used, so I chose to put him at 2, just to make a little bit more space for a couple of other cards. Even at 2 though, he does his job. You put him in grave, and it stops targeting from any of your Tenyi monsters. We like this because, there are some times where you just need to not be targeted. Most of your guys are non-effect monsters, so you don't really have to worry about cards like Effect Veiler and stuff. But there are some times where people have effects that would just target your monster, and it could be your only non-effect monster on the board. So you want to prevent that as much as possible, and this is just another way to do it. So we run it at 2. He can also be used as synchro material to get into the synchro as well. Next up in our deck, I run 2 copies of Mare. The reason I run 2 copies of Mare in this deck is basically, of course, to get the tokens out, but it also helps you to link up. And so we like to go ahead on and make Shaman and discard the Mare, or discard another Tenyi monster and bring back the Mare. It may get negated, but it forces out the negate. If they don't negate this, then this is an auto win. And we like anything that's going to give us significant advantage, we want to play that. And so that's why we play the Mare. Mare is also another tuner. And so should you pitch, if they allow you to pitch it with the Shaman and they bring it back, and of course Mare is level 7, so if they stop you from doing its effects, Mare still ends up being a 2100 beater. So, and he's also a worm, so he goes perfectly with the deck. Anyways, on to the next one. We play 1, 2, 3 of the mystery shell dragons. They're worm monsters, so they go with the deck, and they're vanilla targets. So these are automatically non-effect monsters that you can just normal summon out and have a non-effect monster already on the board, which allows you to use all of your graveyard effects. So we play this. It's at 2000 attack. It allows you to do that extra 2000 damage that you may need, and it's just it's a all-around good card because it helps you to get there. That is it for our monster lineup. We play 3 of the Vessel for the Dragon Cycle. This is your Searcher as well as Foolish Burial for the deck. This card is amazing. It allows you to gain lots of advantage just by having a non-effect monster on the board. We play 3 copies of Flawless Protection of the Tenyi. The reason that we play this card is because we want to see this card. We want to see it regularly. I don't play the Field Spell Searcher Metaverse or Terraforming, and the reason is because at 3 we run this at 3, and so whereas I would be playing maybe 2 in a Terraforming or 2 in the Metaverse or something like that, I chose to go with it at 3, and I draw into it regularly. This card is amazing because it protects all of your normal monsters, or non-effect monsters I should say, from destruction effects and just all monster effects that would target any of your non-effect monsters. We run 2 Twin Twisters because all of the Tenyi monsters get their effects in the grave, so if you discard them with the Twin Twister, you hit the back row, you get 2 back row, and then you still get your effects from grave. So you don't really lose any advantage off of discarding a Tenyi monster in this deck. You run 1 Foolish Burial. The reason we run the Foolish Burial is because Foolish Burial lets us dump what we need to the graveyard. If I need that Mare, this is a 4th way to get it there. I run 2 other Foolish Burials in Vessel, so 3 other Foolish Burials in Vessel, so this is the 4th one. It just helps us to get there. You can dump whatever you need at the time to continue furthering your game state. We run 1 Scapegoat. The reason we play Scapegoat is because when you go into this on your opponent's end phase, it's usually always game over. Like, there's no coming back from Scapegoat. Your big guy basically says 1 link monster and any other monster. So I can literally link into Link Spider and then go into the Link 3 Tenyi guy That's the non-effect monster, and have a 3,000 beater on board with just the scapegoat token. So this becomes really, really good for us. We run one Regeki because it's a free board wipe, so why not run that Geki? Anyways, carrying on. We run one mind control. We're playing a link-based version of it, and if I can take my opponent's link monster and keep linking up, I'm going to take it. We run one Monster Reborn. Monster Reborn helps us to further our game state as well. Monster Reborn in this deck is amazing because you can bring back a 3,000 beater, you can bring back your Synchro monster, you can bring back Shaman, and go into whatever you want to go into all over again. Unexpected Die. When we're running one copy of Unexpected Die, and the reason that we're running the one Unexpected Die, we have 3 targets for it in the deck. So if you draw one, you still, typically speaking, are able to do this at some point in the game if it's drawn out. If you don't see Unexpected Die at the beginning of the game, and it's a long game, Unexpected Die comes up, and you'd be surprised at how much it can just help your board state to continue to advance by having that extra vanilla out there. A lot of times I'll just leave it out there because it's a 2,000 beat stick that I can just use to just help push for game. To our traps, we run 3 Waterfall of the Dragon Souls in the deck. The reason that we're going to play Waterfall of Dragon Souls is because we want to be able to search out our Tenyi monsters. This is basically a free searcher that lets us add pretty much whatever worm monster we want to add to our hand. It doesn't have to necessarily be a Tenyi. It'll let you search out whatever worm monster you want, whether it is the normal monster or your what's this guy called? Mare. It'll let you search out your Mare if you need him. But it's just good. And then if you need to play it defensively, say your opponent's about to blow up your board, well, you can chain this to it, get all of the guys off the board with this card, and draw one for each one plus 1. So say you got 2 worm monsters on the board, you can send all of the worm monsters to the grave with this, and then plus 3 off of it, so that you keep some advantage going for yourself. Lastly, we play 2 copies, I'm sorry, of Fist of the Unrivaled Tenyi. And the reason that we play 2 copies of Fist of the Unrivaled Tenyi is to just be able to negate things when our opponent is doing it. We like to be able to stop as much as possible, and that card just helps us to stop it by essentially negating it. It's a counter trap, spell speed 3. Once we activate that, we're able to pretty much shut down one play. So this is going to take away a play from your opponent. If they got a allegedly unbreakable board out there, you activate this counter trap when they're trying to do something, it helps you to break that unbreakable board, because it's spell speed 3. Unless they got super poly, they're not chaining to the counter trap. So at least not game 1. On to our extra deck. For our extra deck, because we are playing the counter trap card, and it does have its secondary effect, we run 3 copies of Berserker of the Tenyi. This is our 3,000 beat stick non-effect monster. Helps to just put pressure on your opponent with that 3,000 body, and allows you to be able to use all of your graveyard effects for your Tenyi monsters. Next up, we run 2 copies of Shaman of the Tenyi. Shaman effect allows you to special summon one from grave. This is how we bring our Mare out. Essentially, we pitch it, bring it back, special out all the tokens, or we dump it, and then pitch another Tenyi monster, bring out the mirror, special all the tokens, and it helps you to get out the synchro monster. And so this is the primary way that we're going to be bringing out our synchro monster. We run 1, 2, 3 copies of the Link 1 guy, Monk of the Tenyi. And the reason we run him is because he's our play starter. We want to get him out there so that we can continue to link up. And not only that, sometimes, you know, you may start kind of slow and you just need a non-effect monster out there. He's that guy that helps to get you there until you can make your main play. Moving right along, we run one of the Draco Berserker of the Tenyi. The reason we run him is because he's amazing. He banishes and he helps to put in that damage work when we need to go ahead on and wrap up our opponent. You go ahead and play him, synchro him, and go ahead and push for game with him. And so that's why we like to run him in our Tenyi build. Even though it's a Link, majorly a Link based deck, we still want to run him. We also run 1 copy of Draco Masters of the Tenyi. And we run them just to clear off some board presence when we need to. Sometimes you go into him, sometimes you don't. This guy's going to be a lot better once the Link 4 comes to the TCG. Because he'll be protected. And when you have your effect monsters protected as well as your non-effect monsters, things tend to go a lot more, even more aggressively. The deck is already very, very, very aggressive, but that makes it go even more aggressively. Next up, for our non-Tenyi monsters, we run 1 copy of Midnight Crusadia Avermax, because Avermax helps us to go first and put that pressure on as a body that it's really hard for our opponent to get over. Once we go into Avermax, you just have a body that's out there that you know that they're going to struggle to get over unless they got a kaiju. We run 1 copy of Boral Sword Dragon so that we can push for the OTKs. With this deck, I like to be able to just go for game when I can. This guy just helps you to get there. Once you put him on board, if your opponent can't stop it, they know that that's the end of the game. We run 1 Link Spider. Link Spider lets you get into the Link 3 Tenyi non-effect monster. We run 1 Nightmare Phoenix to pop back row when we need to and to get into our Link 3 plays. And we run 1 Lamphonicus, because Lamphonicus helps us to essentially get over things that, or get out of situations that you wouldn't be able to get into, because it is just a generic Link 2. It allows you to get those tokens and just link up into whatever you need to. Scapegoat or Mirror tokens. And that's it, guys. I think that is our Tenyi deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And let me know down in the comment section what you think of the deck build. Peace out, guys.